This was the last sunrise they would ever see. 66 million years ago, the Earth was a different world. A world ruled by giants. A world where the ground shook with every step. Where the skies were filled with creatures larger than airplanes. Where the oceans held monsters that could swallow a whale whole. This was the age of the dinosaurs. And they had no idea what was coming. The sun rises over a vast forest. Steam lifts from the ground as morning light breaks through the canopy. It's warm, humid. The air smells like wet earth and rotting vegetation. Somewhere in the distance, a low rumble echoes across the valley. Footsteps, heavy, slow, deliberate. The trees sway as something massive moves between them, and then you see it. A Tyrannosaurus rex, 40 feet long, 7 tons of muscle and bone, the apex predator of its time. It stops at the edge of a clearing, sniffs the air. Its breath creates clouds of mist in the cool morning. Everything is still. The smaller creatures have gone silent. They know better than to make noise when the king is hunting. The rex takes another step forward. Its foot crushes a fallen log. The sound cracks like thunder, and then it moves on. Disappearing into the shadows, the forest breathes again. A few miles away, a herd of Triceratops grazes near a river. There are maybe 20 of them, adults, juveniles. A few babies staying close to their mothers. Their 3-horned heads bob up and down as they tear into the ferns. They've been here for days. The water is good. The plants are abundant. Life is easy. One of the adults lifts its head, looks toward the horizon. Something feels different today. The air pressure maybe, or the light, it can't explain it, but something is off. High above, a flock of pteranodons glides on the thermal currents. Their wingspans stretch over 20 feet. They circle lazily, scanning the ground for fish in the shallow streams. One of them dives. Hits the water hard, emerges with a wriggling fish in its beak. The others screech in response. Jealous, competitive, they've been fishing here for generations. Their ancestors fished here. Their children will fish here, or so they think. The world feels stable, predictable. The dinosaurs have ruled this planet for over 160 million years, longer than any mammal. Longer than humans will ever exist. They've survived ice ages, volcanic eruptions, asteroid impacts before. They're resilient, adaptable, the most successful life forms in Earth's history. And right now, on this particular morning, they have no reason to believe anything will change. But 500 miles above the Earth's atmosphere, something is coming. It's been traveling for millions of years. A rock, a fragment of a planet that never formed. It's been drifting through the cold vacuum of space, silent and invisible, 6 miles wide. Made of stone and metal, moving at 45,000 miles per hour. And its trajectory intersects with Earth. Right here, right now, in exactly 4 hours. The dinosaurs don't know. They can't see it. They don't have telescopes. They don't understand orbital mechanics. They're just living, eating, breeding, surviving like they always have. The Triceratops by the river takes a long drink. The water is cool and clear. The sun warms its back. It feels good to be alive, but in the sky something flickers just for a second, a brief flash. Like a star moving too fast. One of the pteranodons notices. It tilts its head, stares upward, and then it screams. A sharp, piercing cry that cuts through the air. The other pteranodons stop flying. They hover, confused. What did it see? They look up, nothing, just blue sky, just clouds. The pteranodon screams again, and then it turns, flies away. Fast, frantic, the others follow. Down below, the Triceratops herd shifts nervously. They heard the scream. They don't understand it, but they feel it. That primal instinct that says something is wrong. One of the mothers pushes her baby closer. Another adult snorts, stomps the ground. The herd starts moving, slowly at first, then faster. They don't know why, they just know they need to leave. The Tyrannosaurus rex is still hunting. It's stalking a young hadrosaur near a swamp. The hadrosaur hasn't noticed yet. It's too busy eating. The rex crouches low, muscles tensed, ready to strike. And then it stops. Its head snaps upward, nostrils flaring. Something in the air has changed. A smell, no, not a smell. A feeling. The rex abandons the hunt, turns around, walks back into the forest. The hadrosaur doesn't even realize how close it came to death. All across the continent, animals are reacting. Birds are flying inland. Herds are migrating early. Predators are retreating to their dens. They don't know what's happening, but evolution has taught them to trust their instincts, and their instincts are screaming. Run, hide, something is coming. The sky begins to change, subtly at first. The blue deepens, the clouds seem to hang lower, the light feels different, sharper, harsher. The temperature drops slightly, just a degree or two. But enough to notice. The wind picks up, trees bend, leaves swirl, the river ripples harder, and still the dinosaurs don't understand. 3 hours now. A family of ankylosaurs rests under the shade of a giant redwood. Their armored bodies glisten with sweat. They've been walking all morning, exhausted. One of them lies down, closes its eyes. The others follow. They're safe here, protected. Nothing can hurt them. Their armor is impenetrable. Their tails are clubs that can shatter bone. They fear nothing, but sleep doesn't come easy today. The ground feels strange, like it's vibrating, just barely, almost imperceptible. But it's there. 2 hours now. The object is close enough now that if you had a telescope, you could see it. A dark spot against the sun. Growing, every second it's getting closer, faster, hotter. The friction with the outer atmosphere is starting to heat its surface, not enough to slow it down. Just enough to make it glow, faintly, like a dying ember. In 30 minutes it will be visible to the naked eye. The Triceratops herd has reached higher ground. They're on a hillside now. Looking down at the valley they just left. They're breathing hard, tired, confused. Why did they run? There's no predator, no fire, no flood, just an unexplainable urge to get away. One of the adults turns and looks back toward the coast. The horizon, and that's when it sees it. A streak, faint, but there, moving across the sky, too fast to be a bird, too bright to be a cloud. 1 hour now. The Rex is in a cave, deep, dark. It doesn't usually hide, but today feels wrong. It lies down, head on its claws, eyes open, listening. Outside, the forest has gone completely silent. No insects, no birds, no rustling, just wind, and that low hum, that vibration in the air that nobody can explain. The sky is no longer blue, it's turning gray, ashen. The sun is still visible but dimmed, like there's smoke in the air, but there's no fire, not yet. The clouds are moving faster now, swirling, chaotic. The wind is howling. Trees are bending at impossible angles. Smaller creatures are being blown away, tumbling across the ground like leaves. 30 minutes now. You can see it clearly now. A ball of fire tearing through the sky, brighter than the sun. It's screaming, a sound like nothing ever heard before, a roar that shakes the entire atmosphere. Every living thing on the planet stops. Looks up and watches. The pteranodons are frozen mid-flight. The Triceratops stand motionless. The Rex lifts its head. Even the insects stop moving. The whole world is staring at the sky. At the thing that's about to kill them. 10 minutes now. It's so bright you can't look directly at it. The heat is radiating down. The temperature is rising, fast. Plants are starting to wilt. Water is evaporating. The air itself feels like it's burning. Animals are running now, not toward anything, just away, stampedes, chaos, panic. Mothers are losing their young. Predators are running alongside prey. Nothing matters anymore except escape. But there's nowhere to go. 5 minutes now. The object is the size of a mountain, glowing white hot. The sound is deafening, a continuous roar that drowns out everything. The ground is shaking, not from footsteps, from the shockwave, from the pressure of the object displacing the atmosphere. Tornadoes are forming beneath it. Lightning is crackling across the sky. The ocean is starting to pull back from the shore, receding, exposing the seafloor. Fish are flopping, struggling, confused. 2 minutes now. The Triceratops herd is huddled together. The adults have formed a circle around the young, their horns pointing outward, a defensive position, but there's no enemy to fight. Just light, heat, sound. One of the babies is crying, a high-pitched whine. The mother nudges it, tries to comfort it. But she's terrified too. She doesn't understand what's happening. None of them do. 1 minute now, the Rex has left the cave. It's standing in the open, staring at the sky, its eyes reflecting the burning light. It knows, somehow, it knows this is the end. There's no escape, no survival, just acceptance. It lifts its head, opens its jaws, and roars, one final defiant roar, a challenge to the universe, a declaration that it existed, that it lived. That it mattered. 30 seconds now. Every animal on the continent is looking up. Millions of eyes, billions of eyes, all watching the same thing. The object is so close now it fills half the sky. It's no longer falling, it's crashing, descending like the hand of God. The air is on fire. The clouds are gone, vaporized. The world is turning white. 10 seconds now. Silence for just a moment. The roar stops, the wind stops, time itself seems to stop. And in that moment, every creature takes one last breath, one last look, one last heartbeat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then the world explodes. But what happened next would be even worse. The asteroid hits the Yucatan Peninsula at 45,000 miles per hour. In the first millisecond, the rock punches through the atmosphere like it's not even there. The air in front of it is compressed so violently that it turns into plasma, superheated gas. Hotter than the surface of the sun. The light is blinding, brighter than 1,000 nuclear bombs. If you were standing 100 miles away and you looked at it, your eyes would instantly vaporize. The rock doesn't slow down, it doesn't break apart. It hits the Earth with the force of 10 billion Hiroshima bombs all at once. In a single point, the ground doesn't just crack, it liquefies. The entire crust of the planet ripples like water. Shockwaves radiate outward at supersonic speeds, and in the exact center where the asteroid hits, a crater begins to form. In the first second, the asteroid is still moving. It's drilling into the Earth, punching through miles of rock. The energy is unimaginable. The temperature at the impact site is over 50,000 degrees. Rock is vaporizing, turning into gas. Whole mountains are being erased, and the crater is growing, 1 mile deep, 2 miles. 5 miles, 10 miles. It's expanding faster than the speed of sound. The shockwave hits the coast first, a wall of compressed air moving at Mach 10, faster than anything alive can perceive. The Triceratops herd doesn't even have time to blink. 1 second they're standing on the hillside. The next second they're gone, not killed, erased, disintegrated. Their bodies turn to dust and scattered across the continent. The trees around them explode into splinters. The ground beneath them is ripped away, and the hillside itself is flattened, smoothed. Like it was never there, 2 seconds after impact. The shockwave is 50 miles out now, moving like an invisible tsunami. Everything in its path is being obliterated. Forests are being uprooted. Rivers are being boiled away. Mountains are crumbling. And the animals, the dinosaurs, the creatures that ruled this world for 160 million years, they're being wiped out in an instant. The hadrosaurs, the ankylosaurs, the stegosaurus herds, the brachiosaurus families, gone, all of them, in seconds. The Tyrannosaurus rex is 300 miles inland. It's still standing in the clearing, staring at the horizon. The light has faded now, replaced by something worse, a wall of darkness, rising, growing. Rushing toward it faster than anything it's ever seen. The Rex doesn't run, there's no point. It plants its feet, lowers its head, and braces. The wall hits, and the Rex is thrown backward like a toy. Its body tumbles through the air, smashes into trees, into rocks, and then the trees and rocks are gone too. Everything is moving, spinning. The world has become a blender of dirt and debris and death. 5 seconds after impact, the crater is 20 miles wide now, and it's still growing. The force of the impact has punched through the Earth's crust entirely. Magma is welling up from below, bright orange, glowing. The heat is so intense that the air above it is warping, bending light. And then the magma hits the surface. It doesn't flow, it explodes. Massive geysers of molten rock are shooting into the sky, miles high, tens of miles. Some of it is reaching the upper atmosphere. Spreading, beginning to blanket the planet. 10 seconds after impact, the shockwave is 200 miles out. It's weaker now, but still devastating. The wind speeds are over 500 miles per hour, strong enough to peel the skin off any living thing. The pteranodons that flew inland are being torn apart mid-flight, their wings shredded. Their bodies thrown into the ground like meteors. On the surface, the few animals that survived the initial blast are being buried alive, crushed under falling debris, or suffocated by the dust clouds that are rising everywhere. 15 seconds after impact, the sound arrives, not the impact itself. That was too loud, too violent. It broke the sound barrier. But now the secondary sounds are catching up. The rumble, the roar, the grinding of a planet being wounded. It's so loud that it ruptures eardrums 1,000 miles away. Animals collapse. Bleeding from their ears, disoriented, they stumble, fall, and are swallowed by the chaos around them. 30 seconds after impact. The energy from the asteroid is radiating outward in every direction, not just horizontally, vertically too. The atmosphere is being pushed upward, compressed, superheated. And then it's bouncing back, creating secondary shockwaves. The sky is flickering, flashing like a strobe light. The entire planet is ringing like a bell. Seismographs on the other side of the world would register this as a magnitude 11 earthquake. If seismographs existed, if there was anyone left to read them. 1 minute after impact. The debris cloud has reached the stratosphere. Trillions of tons of rock, dust, ash, it's spreading out, forming a mushroom cloud that dwarfs anything humanity will ever create. The top of the cloud is 50 miles high, and it's still rising. The particles are so fine that they'll stay suspended in the air for months, maybe years, blocking out the sun, turning day into night. The oceans are reacting now. The impact site was near the coast. The energy has transferred into the water, and the water is moving, rising. A tsunami is forming, but this isn't a normal tsunami. This is a wall of water 5 miles high. It's racing across the Gulf of Mexico at 600 miles per hour, faster than a jet plane. It reaches the opposite shore in minutes. And when it hits, it doesn't just flood the coast, it erases it. The water travels 300 miles inland, drowning everything, forests, valleys, mountains, all underwater. And when the water finally recedes hours later, nothing is left, just mud, just death. 2 minutes after impact, the asteroid is gone, completely vaporized, but the crater remains, 90 miles wide. 12 miles deep, the largest scar ever created on Earth's surface, and at the bottom magma is pooling, the Earth's crust has been breached, and the wound is bleeding, lava is pouring out. Not in streams, in rivers, in floods, it's flowing across the landscape, incinerating everything it touches. The temperature is over 2,000 degrees, nothing can survive it, not even bacteria. 5 minutes after impact, the debris field is global now. Chunks of rock that were ejected from the crater are falling back to Earth, but they're not falling gently. They're meteorites. Thousands of them, tens of thousands. Each one glowing red-hot from atmospheric entry. They're hitting the ground all over the planet. North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia. Antarctica, everywhere. Each impact creates a secondary explosion, a secondary crater, a secondary shockwave. The Earth is being bombarded, from space, by its own material. 10 minutes after impact. The fires have started. The heat from the debris is igniting forests, grasslands, anything flammable, and the fires are spreading fast. Within an hour, 70% of the planet's forests will be burning. The smoke is rising, mixing with the dust, creating a toxic blanket that's wrapping around the Earth. The sky is black. Completely black. The sun is gone, hidden behind trillions of tons of ash and soot. 15 minutes after impact. The few dinosaurs that survived the shockwave are dying now, not from the blast. From the heat, the air temperature has risen by 20 degrees in minutes, and it's still rising. The smaller creatures are overheating. Their bodies can't regulate. They collapse, convulsing, gasping for air that's too hot to breathe. The larger dinosaurs are struggling too. Their massive bodies were built for a stable climate, but the climate just changed, violently. And they can't adapt fast enough. 30 minutes after impact, the Earth is unrecognizable. The blue and green planet that existed an hour ago is gone. Now it's gray, brown, black. The oceans are churning, filled with sediment and debris. The land is scorched, cratered, covered in ash, and the sky is a nightmare, glowing red from the fires below. Flickering with lightning, raining molten rock. This is what the end of the world looks like. This is extinction, 1 hour after impact. The temperature has peaked. The fires are at their worst. The smoke is thickest, and in the center of it all, the crater is still glowing, still bleeding magma. It will continue for days, maybe weeks. The wound won't heal quickly. And even when it does, the scar will remain. Forever. A reminder of the day the Earth was almost destroyed. But the asteroid impact was just the beginning. The real extinction hasn't even started yet. Because what comes next is worse than the impact. Worse than the fires, worse than the tsunamis. What comes next is slow, silent, and inevitable. The dinosaurs that survived the first hour won't survive the first week. And the ones that survive the first week won't survive the first month, because the sun is gone. And without the sun, nothing can live. But some things did survive. Deep underground, in caves, in burrows, small creatures, mammals. They're terrified, injured, starving, but alive. And they don't know it yet, but they've just inherited the Earth. The first day after impact is hell on Earth. The sun doesn't rise because the sun is blocked completely. Trillions of tons of dust and ash are suspended in the atmosphere. The sky isn't blue anymore. It's not even gray. It's black, pitch black, like being inside a cave. The only light comes from the fires, and the fires are everywhere. Entire continents are burning. The flames stretch from horizon to horizon. You can see the glow from space. If there was anyone in space to see it. On the ground, the heat is unbearable. Even though the sun is blocked, the temperature is still over 100 degrees. The fires are generating their own weather systems. Firestorms, tornadoes made of flame. They're tearing across the landscape, incinerating everything they touch. Trees explode from the heat. Animals are roasted alive. The very ground is cracking and smoking. The Tyrannosaurus Rex is still alive. Barely. It's lying in a ravine, its body broken, burns covering its skin. One of its legs is shattered. It can't move. Can't hunt, it's panting, desperate for water. But there's no water, the rivers have boiled away, the lakes have evaporated. The only moisture in the air is steam. Hot, choking, the Rex tries to stand, it can't, it collapses again, and it lies there, waiting for death, or for something to kill it, whichever comes first. A few miles away, a small herd of Triceratops is huddled under an overhang. 6 of them. They survived the shockwave, survived the fires, but they're trapped now, surrounded by flames on all sides. They can't escape, and they know it. One of the juveniles is crying, a low, mournful sound. The adults are silent, just standing there, watching the world burn. They're not eating. There's nothing to eat. All the plants are gone. Ash covers everything. The air is thick with smoke. Every breath is painful. The fires burn for 3 days, non-stop. By the time they start to die down, 70% of the planet's biomass is gone. The forests, the grasslands, the jungles, all reduced to charcoal. The amount of carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere is staggering. The greenhouse effect kicks in. The temperature spikes even higher, 110 degrees, 120. The Earth is cooking itself, but then something changes. The fires start to fade, not because they ran out of fuel, but because the oxygen levels are dropping. The plants are gone. And without plants, there's no photosynthesis, no oxygen production. The air is becoming harder to breathe. The larger animals suffer first. Their massive bodies require massive amounts of oxygen. And there isn't enough anymore. They're suffocating, slowly, painfully. The Triceratops herd is still under the overhang, but only 4 of them now. 2 have died, collapsed. Their bodies already bloating in the heat. The survivors are too weak to move them, too weak to even care. They're just lying there, eyes half closed, breathing shallow, waiting. 1 week after impact, the fires are mostly out now, but the damage is done. The landscape is a wasteland, black, lifeless. The ash layer is 3 feet deep in some places. It covers everything like snow. But it's not cold, it's hot, burning hot. The ground beneath it is still smoldering. You can't walk on it without your feet burning. The few animals still alive are moving constantly, searching for cool ground, searching for water, searching for food. But there's nothing, absolutely nothing. The sky is still black. The dust cloud has spread across the entire planet now. It's blocking 99% of the sunlight. The temperature has started to drop, fast, from 120 degrees to 90. Then to 70, then to 50, in just a few days. The greenhouse effect is being overpowered by the dust cloud. The Earth is entering a nuclear winter without the nuclear war. The Tyrannosaurus Rex is dead. It died 3 days ago, alone, in the ravine. Its body is already being buried by ash. In a few million years, someone will find its bones, study them. Try to understand what killed it. But they'll never truly know, they'll never feel the heat, the fear, the desperation. They'll just see a skeleton and make guesses 2 weeks after impact. The temperature is below freezing now. In some places, it's negative 20 degrees. Snow is falling, but it's not water snow. It's ash snow. Gray flakes drifting down from the black sky, covering the already dead world in another layer of death. The oceans are starting to freeze at the poles. Ice sheets are forming, spreading. The water is turning slushy, thick. The fish are dying. Floating to the surface, millions of them, billions. The smell is overwhelming. The stench of decay hangs in the air everywhere. The Triceratops herd is down to 2, an adult and a juvenile. The others died from cold, from starvation, from despair. The adult is trying to find food. It's digging through the ash with its horns, scraping, searching, but there's nothing, just more ash. More dirt, more death. The juvenile is too weak to move. It's lying on its side, shivering, its breath coming in short gasps. The adult nuzzles it, trying to warm it, trying to comfort it. But it's not enough. The juvenile closes its eyes and doesn't open them again. The adult stands over the body for hours, not moving, not eating, just standing there, mourning. Dinosaurs don't have funerals. They don't understand death the way humans do, but they feel loss. They feel grief. And this Triceratops is feeling it now, the weight of being the last one. The only one. It lifts its head, looks around, and sees nothing. No herd, no family, no future. It lets out a low bellow, a sound of anguish, and then it walks away. Into the ash, into the darkness. Searching for something it will never find, 1 month after impact. 90% of all dinosaur species are extinct. The large ones died first. The Brachiosaurus, the Diplodocus. The massive herbivores that needed tons of food every day. They starved within weeks. The carnivores lasted slightly longer, feeding on the corpses, but eventually the corpses ran out. And so did they. The smaller dinosaurs held on, the bird-like ones, the ones that could scavenge, but even they are struggling because there's nothing to scavenge anymore. The world is silent now. No bird calls, no insect buzzing, no rustling in the trees, because there are no trees, no birds, no insects, just wind. Cold, empty. The only sound is the wind howling across the barren landscape. Picking up ash and throwing it around, creating dust storms that last for days. The visibility is zero. You can't see 5 feet in front of you. Everything is gray. Everything is dead. But deep underground, something is stirring. In the burrows, in the caves, the mammals, they're small, furry, warm-blooded, and they're surviving, barely. They're eating whatever they can find, roots. Seeds, dead insects, each other. They're cold, hungry, terrified, but they're alive, and that's more than the dinosaurs can say. 3 months after impact, the last of the large dinosaurs are gone. All of them, the T-Rex, the Triceratops, the Velociraptors, the Pteranodons, extinct, wiped out. Their bones scattered across the planet, buried under ash. Waiting to be discovered by creatures that don't exist yet. The only dinosaurs left are the small ones, the ancestors of birds, and even they are on the edge of extinction. The oceans are dying too. The algae that formed the base of the food chain are gone, killed by the lack of sunlight. Without algae, the small fish died. Without small fish, the big fish died. Without fish, the marine reptiles died. The mosasaurs, the plesiosaurs, all gone. The ocean floor is covered in bodies, slowly sinking, slowly decaying. Feeding the bacteria that will inherit this underwater graveyard, the temperature has stabilized, around -10 degrees. Cold, but not impossibly cold. The problem isn't the temperature anymore. It's the darkness. The sun is still blocked, and it will be for months, maybe years. Nothing can photosynthesize, nothing can grow. The entire food chain has collapsed. And without a food chain, nothing can survive. 6 months after impact, the Earth is a frozen wasteland. The ice sheets have spread from the poles to the mid-latitudes. Snow covers everything. Gray snow, toxic snow. The ash has mixed with water vapor and created acid rain. It's falling constantly, burning whatever it touches. The few plants that survived the fires are being killed by the acid. Their leaves withering, their roots rotting, the soil itself is becoming poisonous. The mammals are still alive, some of them. They've adapted, evolved, learned to survive on almost nothing. They're eating fungi, bacteria, anything organic. They're hibernating, slowing their metabolism, conserving energy. They're breeding less, dying more, but they're holding on because that's what mammals do. They survive, they adapt. They endure. 1 year after impact, the dust is starting to settle, slowly. Very slowly, the particles are falling out of the atmosphere, landing on the ground, on the ice, on the ocean. The sky is still dark, but not as dark. You can see hints of light now. Faint, gray. Not sunlight, not yet, but the beginning of sunlight. The first rays in a year. The temperature is starting to rise, just a degree or two, but it's something. The ice isn't melting yet. But it stopped spreading. The planet has stabilized. It's not getting worse, but it's not getting better either. It's just stagnant, frozen in time, waiting for something to change. And then slowly something does. A plant sprouts, just one. A fern pushing through the ash, tiny, fragile, but alive. It's been growing underground for months, waiting for light. And now there's just enough, just barely. It unfurls its leaves, green, the first green in a year, and it begins to photosynthesize. Other plants follow, seeds that survived, spores, roots. They're sprouting slowly, one here, one there. The Earth is trying to heal, trying to come back. It will take thousands of years, millions, but it's starting. Life is stubborn. Life is relentless. Life finds a way. But the dinosaurs are gone, and they're never coming back. 2 years after impact, the Earth is still dark. The sun is visible now, a pale disk behind the gray haze. But it's not strong, not warm. The light that reaches the ground is dim, like twilight, permanent twilight. The temperature has risen to just above freezing. The ice is melting, slowly, creating rivers of gray water, contaminated with ash, toxic. The water flows into the oceans, and the oceans are turning gray too, murky, lifeless. The plants are growing, but not fast. And not everywhere, only in the places where the ash layer is thin, where seeds survived, where the soil hasn't been completely poisoned, ferns mostly, mosses. Hardy plants that can grow in almost any condition. They're spreading, slowly, reclaiming the land inch by inch, but it's a slow process. The world is still 90% dead. The mammals are thriving, relatively speaking. They've multiplied, spread out. There are more species now than there were before the impact, small rodent-like creatures, shrew-sized, rat-sized. They're eating the new plants, eating the insects that are starting to return, eating each other. The food chain is rebuilding from the bottom up. It's fragile, unstable, but it's there. The birds are back too. The descendants of the small dinosaurs, they survived. Barely. They're different now, smaller, more adaptable. They've lost some of their color. Their plumage is duller, grays. Browns, blacks camouflage for a gray world, but they're singing again, quiet songs, hesitant, but songs nonetheless. The sound of life returning. 5 years after impact, the sky is lighter now. Almost blue in some places, the dust has mostly settled. The air is clearer, you can see the horizon, you can see the sun rise and set. The temperature is warmer, 50 degrees, 60, almost normal. The ice sheets are retreating, the oceans are warming, fish are returning, small ones but fish. The coral reefs are gone, dead, bleached white skeletons, but algae is growing on them, green algae. Brown algae, the base of the food chain, and with the algae the fish will follow, and with the fish the bigger fish. And the cycle continues. The forests are growing back, not the old forests. Those are gone forever, but new forests, different forests. The trees are smaller, faster growing, pioneer species, birch, alder, willow, they're spreading across the ash plains. Turning gray into green, it's beautiful in a sad way, a reminder of what was lost, but also a promise of what could be. The mammals are diversifying, some are getting bigger, dog-sized, pig-sized. They're filling the niches left by the dinosaurs. Herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, they're experimenting, evolving, adapting to this new world. Some will succeed, some will fail. But the ones that succeed will inherit the Earth. 10 years after impact, the world is green again, not everywhere, but in enough places. The grasslands are back, the forests are spreading. The rivers are clear, the air is breathable, the temperature is stable. Life has returned, not the same life, but life. The planet is healing, slowly but surely, but the dinosaurs are still gone. And in their absence, something new is rising. The mammals, they're no longer small, no longer hiding. They're out in the open, claiming territory, building populations. And one species in particular is doing well. A small primate, tree-dwelling, intelligent, curious. It's just one species among thousands, insignificant, forgettable, but it will survive. It will evolve. And 65 million years from now, its descendants will stand upright. They'll build cities, create art, ask questions, and they'll look up at the stars and wonder. Where did we come from? Why are we here? And they'll dig into the ground, and they'll find bones, massive bones, and they'll realize we weren't the first. We weren't even close. 20 years after impact, the Earth is almost unrecognizable from the world that existed before. The continents have shifted slightly. The climate has changed. The species are different. But life is abundant, thriving. The oceans are full of fish, the skies are full of birds, the land is full of mammals, reptiles, amphibians, insects. The food chain is stable. The ecosystem is balanced. The planet has recovered, but deep in the fossil record, buried under layers of rock and sediment, there's a thin line, a layer of iridium, a rare metal not found on Earth, but found in asteroids, and that layer marks the boundary. The dividing line between the world before and the world after, between the age of dinosaurs and the age of mammals, between what was and what will be 50 years after impact. The last survivors of the impact are dying, the oldest trees, the oldest mammals, the ones that lived through it. They're reaching the end of their natural lifespans, and when they die, the memory dies with them. No one will remember the fires, the darkness, the cold, the death. It will become legend, myth. And eventually nothing, just a layer of rock, a mystery for future scientists to solve 100 years after impact. The Earth is alive, fully alive. The scars are still there, the crater. The ash layers, the missing species, but new species have taken their place. The world has moved on. Evolution doesn't mourn, it doesn't look back, it only moves forward, creating, adapting. Surviving, and the mammals are thriving. They've spread to every continent, every environment. They're in the trees, in the water, on the plains, in the mountains. They're everywhere. And they're evolving fast, faster than the dinosaurs ever did. Because that's the advantage of being small. You can adapt quickly, you can change, you can survive, 1,000 years after impact. The forests are mature now, old growth. The trees are massive, hundreds of feet tall, the canopy is thick, the undergrowth is dense, the animals are larger, more diverse, predators have evolved. Herbivores have evolved, the arms race has begun. Who can run faster, who can fight harder, who can survive longer, and the mammals are winning. They're warm-blooded, they're intelligent. They're adaptable, they're everything the dinosaurs were, and more. 10,000 years after impact, the climate has stabilized, the ice ages have come and gone, the sea levels have risen and fallen. The continents have continued to drift. The world is in constant motion, constant change, but life persists always, no matter what. Asteroids, volcanoes, ice ages, mass extinctions, life survives. Life adapts, life continues. 1 million years after impact, the dinosaurs are a distant memory encoded in the fossil record, waiting to be discovered, but they're not forgotten, not really. Because their descendants are still here. The birds, flying, singing, thriving, they're dinosaurs, just smaller, just different. They survived, they adapted, they evolved, and they're proof that even in the worst extinction event in history, life finds a way. 65 million years after impact, a species of primate has evolved. Homo sapiens, humans, they've developed language, tools. Culture, technology, they've spread across the planet, dominated every environment, and they've started asking questions, looking up, looking back, digging into the earth, and finding bones. Giant bones, and they've realized, we're not alone, we were never alone. This planet has a history, a long history, and we're just the latest chapter, and they'll stand in museums. Staring at reconstructed skeletons, Tyrannosaurus rex, Triceratops, Brachiosaurus, and they'll wonder, what were they like, how did they live, how did they die, and some will study. Will dedicate their lives to understanding. Will piece together the story, from rocks, from fossils, from chemistry, and they'll discover the truth. An asteroid 6 miles wide, traveling at 45,000 miles per hour, striking the Earth, ending an era, beginning another, and they'll realize it could happen again, it will happen again, maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow, but someday. Another rock, another impact, another extinction, and they'll look up at the sky, and for the first time, they'll be afraid not of what's on Earth, but of what's beyond it, floating, drifting, waiting, in the cold vacuum of space. But they'll also realize something else. The dinosaurs ruled for 160 million years. Humans have only been around for 200,000 years. A blink, a moment, and yet in that moment, humans have accomplished more than the dinosaurs ever did. They've built civilizations, created art, explored space, and maybe, just maybe, they'll be the first species to survive the next impact, to see it coming, to stop it, to save themselves, but that's a different story. A future story right now, in 2026. We're still here, still alive, still looking up, still wondering, and the dinosaurs are gone, buried, forgotten, except in memory. Except in museums, except in stories like this one. 66 million years have passed since the asteroid hit. The crater is still there, hidden beneath the Yucatan Peninsula, buried under miles of sediment and ocean. But it's there, a scar, a reminder. Geologists will find it eventually. They'll call it Chicxulub, and they'll measure it, study it, try to understand the force that created it. And they'll be amazed, terrified, humbled, because they'll realize that could have been us, that could be us, but right now, right here. In the present day, life is everywhere. The Earth has not only recovered, it has flourished. The mammals inherited the world, and they did something the dinosaurs never could. They diversified. They spread, they conquered. Every environment, every niche, every corner of the planet, from the deepest oceans to the highest mountains, from the frozen poles to the burning deserts. Mammals are everywhere, and one lineage, one small group of primates, did something extraordinary. They came down from the trees, they stood upright. They started walking on 2 legs. freeing their hands, and those hands changed everything. They made tools, they made fire, they made language, they made art, they made civilization, they made us. We are the children of the asteroid, born from the ashes of the dinosaurs, standing on their bones, building our world on their graves, and we don't think about it. We don't remember, but it's true. If that asteroid had missed, if it had passed Earth by just a few minutes, the dinosaurs would still be here, and we wouldn't. There would be no humans, no cities, no technology, no art, no music. No questions, just dinosaurs, still ruling, still thriving, still evolving, but the asteroid didn't miss, it hit, and it changed everything. Forever, today, right now. You're alive because 66 million years ago, a rock fell from the sky and killed almost everything, but not everything. Some things survived, small things, insignificant things. Things that hid in burrows, things that ate insects and seeds, things that the dinosaurs never noticed, never cared about, and those small things, those survivors, they became us. We are the descendants of catastrophe, born from extinction, forged in darkness, and we carry that legacy in our DNA, in our bones, in our very existence. We are proof. That life doesn't just survive, it transcends, it transforms, it becomes something new, something better, something capable of asking, why am I here? What is my purpose? What comes next? The dinosaurs couldn't ask those questions. They were magnificent, powerful, dominant, but they were limited. They couldn't imagine the future, couldn't plan, couldn't adapt fast enough. And when the world changed, they couldn't change with it, but mammals could, primates could, humans could, and did. We are the first species in Earth's history to understand extinction, to study it. To fear it, to try to prevent it. We look at the fossil record and we see the pattern, the cycle. Extinction events, every few million years, sometimes smaller, sometimes larger, but always there. Always looming, and we realize we're not exempt, we're not special, we're just another species on a planet, orbiting a star, in a galaxy, in a universe that doesn't care if we live or die. But here's the difference. We care. We have the ability to look up, to see the asteroids coming, to track them, to calculate their paths, to know if one is heading toward us. And maybe, just maybe, we have the ability to stop it, to deflect it, to save ourselves. The dinosaurs couldn't do that. They didn't even know what hit them, but we do, and that gives us a chance. But asteroids aren't the only threat. We've created our own extinction events. Climate change, nuclear weapons, biological warfare, artificial intelligence, overpopulation, pollution. We're damaging the planet faster than it can recover, killing species faster than they can evolve, burning through resources like there's no tomorrow, and if we're not careful, there won't be. The lesson of the dinosaurs is clear. Dominance is temporary, power is fragile, nothing lasts forever, not even the most successful species in history. They ruled for 160 million years. And then they were gone, in an instant, wiped out by something they never saw coming, and we've only been here for 200,000 years. A fraction of their reign, we're babies, infants. And we're already pushing the planet to its limits. So what do we do? How do we survive? How do we avoid the fate of the dinosaurs? The answer is simple. We adapt, we change, we learn. We stop fighting each other and start working together. We stop destroying the planet and start protecting it. We stop looking down and start looking up, because the threats are real. The asteroids are still out there, floating, drifting, waiting, and someday, maybe not in our lifetime, maybe not in our children's lifetime, but someday, one of them will be heading our way. And when that day comes, we'll have a choice. Do we go the way of the dinosaurs, or do we survive? Do we adapt? Do we prove that intelligence, that consciousness, that awareness is enough to overcome extinction? That's the question, and we won't know the answer until we're tested. But right now, in 2026, we're not being tested by asteroids. We're being tested by ourselves, by our choices, by our actions, and we're failing. The climate is changing, the oceans are rising, the species are dying, the forests are burning, and we're arguing. Fighting, denying, ignoring, acting like we have all the time in the world, but we don't. Time is running out, the clock is ticking, and the question is, will we wake up before it's too late? The dinosaurs didn't have a chance. They couldn't see it coming, couldn't stop it, couldn't survive it, but we can. We have the knowledge, the technology, the ability. All we need is the will. The courage, the wisdom to act before it's too late. So when you look at a bird, remember that's a dinosaur, a survivor, a descendant of the greatest extinction event in history. It adapted. It changed, it survived, and it's still here, flying, singing, thriving, and when you look at yourself, remember you're a survivor too. a descendant of the small mammals that hid in burrows while the world burned. You're here because they survived, because they adapted, because they refused to give up. And that's the legacy. That's the lesson. That's the story. Life doesn't end. It transforms, it evolves, it continues. The dinosaurs are gone, but their story isn't over. It lives on in the birds, in the fossils, in the rocks, in the memories, and in us. Because we're part of the same story, the same planet, the same struggle, the same fight for survival. 66 million years ago, an asteroid fell from the sky and changed the world forever. It killed the dinosaurs, but it created us, and now we stand at a crossroads. Do we learn from their fate, or do we repeat it? Do we survive, or do we perish? The choice is ours, and the time to choose is now, because the next asteroid is coming. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it's coming, and when it does, will we be ready? Will we be worthy? Will we prove that we're more than just another species? That we're something special, something capable of transcending extinction, of surviving the unsurvivable, of becoming something greater? That's the question, and the answer will be written in the stars, in the rocks, in the fossils of the future, when another species, millions of years from now, digs into the ground and finds our bones and asks, what were they like? How did they live? How did they die? And maybe, just maybe, they won't find our bones because we won't be extinct. We'll still be here, still alive, still thriving, still evolving, still reaching for the stars, still asking questions, still searching for answers, still fighting, still surviving, still adapting. Still human. That's the hope. That's the dream. That's the future. If we choose it, if we fight for it, if we refuse to give up, just like the mammals did, just like the birds did. Just like life always does, because life always finds a way.